Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11, which is manifesting your dream business. And today we have a very, very special guest. I am so excited personally because we have aligned so perfectly. Her name is Sarah Briggs. She's from New Zealand. She is a mindset and success coach. She is very, very a huge wealth of knowledge. We just had a massive chat just before this interview, and she's amazing. And she's going to be giving us so much information and knowledge that she has learned over her time. She is a chartered accountant, and then she's turned mindset and success coach. And we're going to hear her story. So I'm very excited to have her on today. Welcome, Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. I am so honored to be here and to share my experience and my insights here with your audience. And hopefully my story can inspire them and be of any value to any one of them. Thank you for having me
I'm
here.
sure you will be. You're definitely going to be. I already know it.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll start with my first question. I've got them written down because I don't want to miss anything. Asking you all the nitty gritty questions about manifesting, all the fun stuff. So,
Yeah.
transitioning from accountant to coaching,
Yeah.
it's a huge, huge leap. And that's probably something that people think about a lot. So, like for me, I was a hairdresser and then I transitioned to a coach. I
Mm.
think a lot of people think about it, but then they really get quite scared about
Yeah.
doing it. Um, what steps did you use to navigate the change, and what made you come forward and do it?
Yeah, that is such a great question. So I'm still a chartered accountant, and I used to work at that time, work for a government here. And it was great, like a really great organization. And it was all about helping New Zealand businesses, everything. So it was really fantastic opportunities. And I really love working there with all the people, amazing people there. Um, but one thing was like, Zia and we were talking, it was so aligned that when I had my first child, my daughter, and she's 6 years now, and I just had this question, like a really big question of, who are you? Like, because I had that question already figured out, I thought in the past, but then it's like all of a sudden I had this crisis, kind of like
Yep.
mid-age crisis, mid-life crisis.
Like,
And
who
then
am I?
yeah, who am I? Why am I here for? What tell me, universe, like what do you want me to be here for? And so I started to look for the answers, and I started to, like reading books and taking courses. I took the course of Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi called KBB at that time. They changed the
Yep.
names a couple of times after that, and got really, really motivated about what I can give to the world, and directly, because being an accountant, working in a corporate is great. It impacts lives, but I wanted something that is going to impact people's lives more directly. And I wanted my daughter to remember me as somebody who really, really make a big difference in the world. So when I die, then my daughter will say, my mom used to help people. And I think, oh, I just want to cry right now. I just want her to remember me as that. And so I started
Yes.
to searching. And then I was like, you know what, I can do coaching. And I think I have something to share, because there was one very specific experience I'd had in the past. And I think there are a lot of people are struggling, and I can help them. So I devoted time, reading books and taking courses in that specific area, and also trying to remember what I did at that time 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like to overcome those difficulties. And then I started to coach. So very important thing I think for me was I always understand how important a coach is. So I hired my first business coach at that time, and he was great. but then I realized that I also told him that, I think I need somebody who can give me a more kind of mindset coaching, because I had so many blocks there. I was scared of selling because selling was gross. That was like my mentality. And I was
Yes.
even I didn't know how to talk to people on Facebook. Like I had an account, but I never, not never, that is exaggeration, like very, very hardly post anything. And then I'm very introvert. So I didn't even know how to talk to people. I had to like ask him, what do I say? That like really, really bad at that time.
Yep.
And
Starting from the start.
absolutely starting from start, and had nothing really, no presence online, nothing. And also dealing with a lot of self-doubt. And then that was when I was like, you know what, I needed to step up. So I hired another coach who was very good. Like he had a team of coaches, and he himself was very good at mindset coaching, even though his core program was not mainly not about mindset, but his like very first many lessons were about mindset, and he personally is a very great coach. And because of the belief that I had in him and his program and his team, I quit my job. I remember
Yep.
it was I think it was on Saturday or Sunday during weekend anyway, and I wrote this email to our CFO that, I wanted to quit my job. And I remember I almost puke, like I almost vomited. I was like, so feeling so sick, because so um anxious at that time. And because, I really didn't have income of coaching business. Yes, I did have like $3,000 for the whole year, 3,000 USD dollars. That is nothing. Like I
Yep.
cannot really provide food for my kids. And I really was so scared. And I sent an email, and then I never looked back. I just like
Yep.
dived into that. And
You went
that
all in.
absolutely all in, go all in. You have to go all in. And then that program really changed my life. And I just like had so many personal growth and business growth as well, like very, very unpredictable, but very fulfilling. When you see that your clients had life-changing results, that really is the feeling nothing else can compare. Maybe it's like if your kids smile to you, that can be, but
Yes.
nothing else
Yeah.
can working for corporate. So that really was the transition. And for me personally, I think one of the things that really helped me to transition was finding my why. Like I was so how to say, connected to my why because of my daughter at that time. Now we have a son, so I'm connecting to him as well. So basically it's like,
Yes.
who am I to them? Who would my kids remember me as in the future? And who is that person? That would be the person that I want to be. And no matter what happened, I want to be the role model for them, that, like on the entrepreneur journey, that Sarah, it's not easy,
It's
right?
not
It's
an
not
easy
easy at
road,
all. Like, no,
but it's the
if you
most fulfilling road.
absolutely, if you want it easy, I think go to find a job. That's probably
Yep.
easier than entrepreneurship. But I want
Yep.
to keep my kids that you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. Really, 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 really.
100%.
Now, I need to be that person to show them. I can't just say it, right? Because they are not becoming what I say or tell them. They become who I am, what I
Yep.
do. So I am doing it every single day, no matter how difficult things turn into. I always remember I do it for my kids. I do it for my kids.
Yep.
I think I want to cry right
Yep.
now.
Well, you're
Um,
their mentor now.
yeah,
Like you're showing them, different
absolutely,
ways.
exactly. Yeah, I'm their
Mm.
coach, basically, like in the
Yeah.
house. Yes,
And they also become your coach. It's like a
yes.
round
Oh
and
my
round.
God, yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. They just like teach me so many things every single day.
Yep.
And
Yep.
another thing, it was I'm really grateful for the coach that I hired at that time, because if were not him and his team, I wouldn't do that because it was just
Yep.
so scary. I've never done
They
that in
gave
the
you the
past.
extra confidence to go forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. Confidence is key. Yeah. Self-belief
It
and
is
confidence.
all about those little steps, isn't it? It's just, even though
Yes.
like quitting your job's a huge step, that's the first step. And then there's all these other steps, but it's just,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not looking at that end goal. It's just taking those little ones, isn't it? Like,
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Little, like little by little, little by little. And when you are taking those steps, I find my burning desire was just intensified itself. Like throughout the time, and like now I'm
yeah,
just so fired up. I will do whatever it takes
yeah,
to help as many people as possible,
yes,
to share this information that I have with as many people as possible, like whatever it takes.
yes.
Not illegal though. It's
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah,
do
I
it.
know exactly what you mean. Because when you can, when you find your why, that is huge. Because then that filters down through the rest of your life, and then it also fires you up to keep going as well.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
mm,
Yeah.
and you are shining your light already. It's
Oh, thank
beautiful to
you.
see.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. Oh God, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you the next question here. So, what foundational advice would you offer people starting out on the entrepreneurial journey? So, like, apart from finding your why, like if they found their why and they're going to go and do this, they've quit their job, what would be the next thing to do
So
in your
I
mind?
think, yeah, in my mind, I personally think mindset is the biggest of everything. So there is a manifestation coach, like she is amazing. She is a coach, one coach in Mount Valley. And she is like one of the most famous manifestation coach in the world. Like people pay $1 million for a year just to one-on-one
Is
coach
that
with.
Regan Hellier?
Yes,
Is it?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
She's awesome.
She's amazing, right? And she's from
Yeah.
New Zealand. Um,
Yeah.
I I took her course, and then she was talking about her story. She said when she started, like there was a period of the time that she was, didn't have money, and it was like she had only a few dollars. I can't remember exactly how much money she had. It was like very very little money in her card, and she was like, "How did this happen?" And she went to a workshop, and then for a business, and then one guy just like say that basically saying that and you also fall into this 80-20 trap. And she's like, what 80-20 trap? And he said, because a lot of people, they are just doing every single day, but they don't understand 80% of the success of a business actually is because of the mindset behind it. Only 20% is of the daily doing, the strategies and
Yeah.
the process. And she said, oh my God, she said, I was just focusing on the 20% all the time, like constantly grinding and hustling. That was me as
Yep.
well. And she's like, oh my God, this is such a light bulb moment. And then with
Yes.
that, she changed that, and now she's like super super famous. And I personally think, because I mentioned a little bit earlier that when I had my first coach, he was great. Like I'm really grateful for him, and he taught me a lot of strategies and a lot of like process and where to post, for example, like those very 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 solid foundation. But it only got me so far, and I just realized that all of those process, all of those strategies, they all work. But why it didn't work for me as well as other people? Like, what is the deciding factor? And then I heard this from another coach, a very great coach called Cynthia Stand. Follow her if anyone is interested. I was watching one of her lives, and she said, It is not what you do that matters the most. It is who you are when you are doing it. And my mentor, Kathleen Cameron, say similar thing as well. It is not the
Yep.
strategy, it's not that, it's who you are. That is the most important thing. And I was like, man, I never
Yep.
thought of it that way. It was the
Yep.
first time, that was last year, like I think mid last year. It was the first time that I heard that. And I was like, oh my God, this resonated with me so much. And no matter what strategy, I was trying to make it work. But if I didn't do it, for example, or if I had self-doubt, if I was being like this perfectionist and I was just too scared of posting one thing because it was not perfect, it's not gonna
Yep.
work. And then
Not
I learned
doing. It's like
exactly.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And then I learned this universal law called law of cause and effect. So basically, the effect is like the result in our world, in my world. And every result that I have in my world is a direct reflection of my inner world, which is the cause. It's not the strategy, it's not the process, but me. And I was like,
Yep.
oh man. And that's actually easier to fix because I have control over me, right? And I
Yep.
felt like, my God, this is so gold. And then I read a lot of books, like a lot of like right now I'm reading this the power of awareness. Like I never thought I would read those books of building a
Yep.
business. I was reading, Think and Grow Rich. Even Think and Grow Rich is not about process and strategies. It's more about how you think. It's more about the
Exactly.
mindset of it.
Yep.
And reading about, I was reading about the expert, what is it, expert strategy by Russell Brunson. So those are
Oh
all
yes.
great.
Yep.
But yes,
Yep.
but also I just can guarantee that all of them have very, very solid, strong mindset behind it to
Mm.
support all of those strategies. Because if
Yes.
they are like Napoleon Hill said, one of the principles of success is being persistent, and that is mindset. And if I'm not persistent, yesterday I talked to someone and I thought, I can help her, and she was really into it as well, but eventually she didn't sign up. And then today I'm just feel like I'm a failure, like nobody's gonna ever sign my program, so what's the use?
Yep.
I'm just going to give up and then find a job, right? So I had those moments.
Yes.
Sometimes I still have those moments, like self-doubt. Who is going to buy my program? Who am I to help other people? All of those things. And those are the mindset work. Like I spent
Yes.
a lot of time to prepare myself before I talk to anyone, because the mindset, they can feel it, the energy,
Oh
it
yeah.
will radiate from me, right?
Exactly. It's
If
like
I
the energetics. If you have the energetics behind you,
Yes,
it comes out everywhere, and everyone can tell.
absolutely.
Either way,
Yes.
whether it's low energetics or high energetics, you can feel it.
Yeah, it's like the confidence you're teaching people as well, right? If I'm not
Yes.
confident, then I would walk in the room. People would immediately tell without me saying anything, oh, this woman is not confident.
Yes.
That's the
You can tell in
energy.
body language. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I personally think mindset is absolutely key for any
Yes.
success. And the energetic work is very important as well. Yeah.
Yes. It sort of goes hand in hand, mindset and
Yes.
the energetics. Like if you have a good mindset and everything's sorted in self-doubt, confidence, consistency, and not being perfect too, and then combine that and your energetics lifts.
Yes, absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
that. No, that's an awesome answer. I love
Oh,
that. um, the next question I wanted to ask you was about manifesting, because I think everyone's like very interested in manifesting. It's a bit of a buzzword at the moment, but when we were younger, if you heard that word, you wouldn't know what it meant. Whereas now
yeah.
everyone's sort of starting to hear it. I'd love to hear your story with manifesting, and then how you use it today, and how you teach it as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about what is really manifestation. Like I didn't understand that word when I was doing it. Even actually, everybody's doing it every single day, unconsciously or consciously. Everyone is doing it. Everyone is manifesting either something that we like, we want, or something we don't like. But we just don't
Yes.
realize that we're doing that. And I didn't understand the manifestation until I was getting into the material of law of attraction and a vibration. But still, those like was years ago at that time. I was like, oh, this is this is a little bit hard for me to understand, but for some reason it resonated with me so much because I felt like I just knew like deep in my heart that there was this power, this higher powers, like forces that are working magically because I had personal experience of that and I couldn't explain. And I thought it was, like my positive and energy, and which is one of the reasons, but I never put it into a theory, like really explain it
Yeah.
using meditation. And so when I was in my mid 20s, I had a lot of issues. Like I had eating disorders, I had insomnia, I was like sexually abused by my ex-boyfriend at that time, and I had like huge trauma, and I had some chronic health issue as well, and I was so depressed. Who wouldn't, like, with all of those things? and
Yes.
and I felt life was unbearable at that time. And I didn't believe at that time, I didn't believe like the universe or God. Like I was none of it. I was like, no, 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 don't talk to me with those things. I'm
Yep.
not that kind of person.
Yep.
And then one day I remember that I just hit the rock bottom, and I just like my knees were on the cold floor in the bathroom in a hotel. I was on a business trip at that time working for corporate, and I was just like crying, just uncontrollably crying, and like my face was just like all of the salivas and snot and tears, everything was like really messy. And then all of a sudden I just heard this voice from somewhere, and it asked me, who am I? And I was like, what? What do you mean, who am I? I'm Sarah, or I'm showing you that's my Chinese name. I was like, but really, who are you? Like, who am I? Except for the names, I can change my name tomorrow, but who am I
Yep.
as essence? And I was like, wow, I need to find out who I am. Like, why am I existing in this world? And then I started to read the books that I would never thought I would read. And I read the book Conversation with God by Neil Donald Walsh. Like, anyone, that is such a profound, actually, manifestation book as well, but it didn't say that way.
Yes.
And I just started to read this book, and I started to apply the things in my life. I read it really slowly because I didn't understand, right? So I like kind of like one sentence at a time. But I had this faith for some reason, because what can go wrong? Like any worse can go any worse than
Yeah.
this.
Well,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
try anything. And then within almost like 6 months, my eating disorder was gone, insomnia was gone, and I was not depressed. And then I manifested dollars, like a lot of money, to come to New Zealand to do my master's degree. And for my trauma, it took a little bit longer, probably about a couple of years, but they were all healed because of that. So, but I didn't know what was happening, but I just knew that everywhere I went, people just came to help me. Like really bizarre that, because I knew nobody in New Zealand. And I just had, like backpackers and a couple of suitcases, and jumped on a plane, came to came to New Zealand, like knew nobody. And
That's amazing.
I even couldn't understand the Kiwis English. Like, Kiwi, the accent.
Yep.
And they're fast as well. I couldn't understand them. But people just came to help me, like from nowhere. Like There was one guy, because I helped his parents at the airport, and then so he came to the airport to pick me up, and then like drop me to the place where I live and offer me help. It was amazing. It was just like everyone was just helping me. I just had no idea what was going on, but everything was on fire. Well,
That's awesome.
it's not saying that every like there was no struggle. There was struggles as well, but
Yeah.
but but in general, the life just like progressing basically in the right
You could
direction.
start to see things happening. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And so things just happening, and I didn't know what was it. I was just like, I'm lucky. Like I'm such a lucky girl.
Yeah.
Yes. And then last year, when I was getting into this material with my current mentor, Kathleen Cameron, so she used to be in the inner circle of Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor would be a
Yep.
law of manifestation,
Yeah.
mind, everything. And
Yes.
then I was like, hold on for a second. That was what I was doing. I didn't know at that time. Now I know. And then I was like, I need everybody to know this, because everybody
Yes.
needs to know this. And because this information is just like, it's so simple and so universal. Everyone can do it, but it's just
Yep.
that majority of us, we don't know about it, or we don't
Right.
believe it, so we don't do it.
Yep.
And a manifestation, let's bring it back to our original question. Manifestation essentially is to show something. What does that mean? To show something means that something has already existed. We just need to show it. So, for
Yes.
example, the ability of flying a plane has always been there. It just needs somebody to be aware of that and then bring it from the fourth dimension, which is the imagination, into the 3D physical world. That's it. So basically,
Yep.
everything that you desire, whoever you are listening to this, whatever you are desiring right now, it's already done. It's already done for you. You just need to bring it from the fourth dimension to the 3D world using different techniques. And of course, you need to take actions. Like, I know some people think manifestation is just sitting there doing meditation, and then boom, success will come. And then
Yes.
the money will come and you do nothing. No, it's not. A very
No.
important part of manifestation is taking actions, but not just any actions. It is taking aligned and inspired actions. And taking actions allows you to be open to receive. If you don't take actions, you are not open to receive the gift from the universe, the God, however you reference it, the higher power. So you need to take actions. But very important, manifestation, I think, is believe the unseen, is to believe the unseen, believe the unbelievable. Like
Yep.
a lot, we are taught to believe what we can see right now in front of us. But whatever we see in front of us, or the success of your job, or your assets, whatever that is actually created by your yesterday, your past thinking, your past awareness. Your past thinking and awareness brought all of those things into your life from the fourth dimension. And now, if you want success in the future, you need to do that as well. You need to know that all of those things that you want, they're already there. And now, today, you need to make the actions to bring those things alive, to show in your world. And that is manifestation.
Yes. I love that. I love inspired action, aligned and inspired action. Love that line because that
Yes,
is a huge part of it, isn't it? Like you've got to be able to recognize what you need to go forth when you've got what you want in your mind and how that's going to be achieved.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, Sia, I want to add a little bit, because you just, pointed out very, very important one is the aligned and inspired actions. And maybe people will think, what does that mean? What does aligned
Mm,
and inspired mean?
yes.
So in the manifestation is very important to raise your vibration and to be the vibrational match of the person you want to be in order to have the thing that you want to have. So a lot of people think that, you have to be a vibrational match to the things you want. No, no, no. You need to be the vibrational match to the person who will build, who will create the things that you desire right now. You need to be that person. So let's say that you want to buy a house for your family in 2 years, let's say. And then it requires you maybe that you need to upskill your capability at work, that you need to get a pay rise, or you need to start your new business, your own business to bring more income, or you need to step up in your business right now, in your business to increase the revenues in your business, whatever that is. And then you think from the end result, meaning that the person 2 years later who has the house. And then you think from that person, you take actions from that person, not from the version of you today who doesn't have that house, but from the version of you 2 years later who already owns that house. You take actions from there, meaning that you will make very completely different decisions today based on that. So that is very important. I just want to point it out for your audience.
Yes, that's really important. And what would be your tips to visualize that? Have you got a set thing that you do and
Yes,
things that you do it's so that you can bring it back into the
yes,
now?
absolutely. So a very, very important tool in manifestation is visualization, using our imagination. Yesterday, I posted something on my story. I said, if you want to know or if you want to learn how to become a visionary, ask a child. Like children, if you ask them, what do you want to be? They were like, I want to be a scientist. I want to be there. I want to be there.
Yeah,
So they are not afraid to think, to imagine that they are that
they
person.
use their imagination all the
They're using
time.
it exactly every single day. Where we is like, oh, you know what? I really want to start this business, but,
Yeah.
there's a lot of but. Oh,
That just cuts it off. Yep.
exactly. I really want to increase my income stream by investing in something else, but the market is not good, but this and that, like a lot of but. And very important thing is that, sorry, I forgot your question. That's something I do. Sometimes I do that because I have so many things to share and
No,
messages
I do the same thing.
come through me, and I was like, sometimes I just
Yes.
in the moment forgot what you said before.
No, it's
Oh,
just about visualizing, and then kids like really
yeah.
have that really good imagination.
Yes, absolutely. So you need to go to a place where you can imagine, like boldly imagine, not just like, maybe, yeah, I will increase my income for, I don't know, 5,000 next year. That's not big enough. You need to go
Yeah.
really bold, like go to watch my last month masterclass for free. It was all for free. And after that, I guarantee you will have a completely different vision for you, your business, your life, very different. So what I do is that in the morning, first thing in the morning and the last thing at night, I would put on some music and I put on theta wave music. So that is going
Yep.
to, right? That activates some part of your brain. It's easier for you to imagine the things that you want to imagine. And then you just bring yourself to the place where you have all your dreams and goals met. Everything you ask for, you have them. And then you feel, very important, you feel the feeling of wish fulfilled. You feel the feeling
Yep.
of wish fulfilled. You feel grateful. You feel joyful. You feel love, right? You feel happy, whatever that is. You feel connected. And then so that is how you raise your vibration. That is how you raise your vibration to become a vibrational match to the person who has the thing that you have. in your imagination. And then, very importantly, once you finish the visualization, act from that state. Don't just go back to your original self, the self before the visualization. No, no, no. That is your current version of yourself or your past version of yourself. You want to act from your next level of yourself, the end result. So you have that feelings and emotions within you, which is vibration. And then you take actions from there. Because what happens is that your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings drive you to take actions. So whatever that your feelings are at that time, you go with that. You take actions from there. Because when you're fearful or when you're bold, you take very completely different actions. When you're fearful, you're like, no, maybe next year, maybe
Yep.
maybe tomorrow, maybe never. Like, right?
And
I
you'll
used
never
to,
put in your whole heart into it. It's like
yeah,
guarded.
yeah, absolutely guard it, and you don't take risk. You don't take risk.
Yes.
But if you're bold, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's
It's
give it a
very
crack.
great. Yeah. So that is
Yes.
my everyday, my routine. Like, at least that is minimum for me. And sometimes if
Yeah.
I need to, I do more. Like in the last few days, I did hours of visualization when I
Yep.
feel like I need it. When I feel
Yes.
like I need to cut out the five senses from the physical world, then I tap
Yep.
into that. And then you come back with the energy of the end goal, the person who has
Yep.
the end goal already built, and then you take
That's
different
great.
action. Yeah.
Yes, because you really would if you that feeling is a whole different feeling of
Oh,
who
yes.
you would be doing that. Because I saw a interview with you earlier, I think it was a couple of days ago, and you said you did that with going live. So now you're very confident you can go on lives and you're on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Um, did you do that same thing to to be able to show your face? Because I know a lot of my clients like they are scared of doing that because most people are. I was too because it's a very scary thing to get on
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember my very first live in my group at that time. That was about 2 years ago. I was so scared. The whole day, I was preparing for that 20 minutes live, or
Yeah,
20 or 30.
I can't do anything all day.
Yes, I know. It's like worry about it the whole day. And I wrote everything. I wrote everything on the screen, and I was like reading out of it because I didn't know how.
Yep,
I remember after that, I told my coach, I was like, yeah, I just did my first live in my group, and like celebrate it. It's it's the same thing as, like when you rehearse. For example, when you were in the school, or my daughter in the school, they practice like dancing because they are going to perform in a school production. And what do? They practice, they practice, they practice. And then before the D-Day, the real day, they go to the place and they rehearse. So why do we rehearse? Because they know exactly what's going to happen. So that they are anticipating what's going to happen. And then when they really doing that, they're not so anxious because they already know what's going
yep,
to happen. So it's the same
yep,
thing for us to rehearse it in our mind instead of, like physical, but we rehearse it in our mind. Okay, I'm just
yeah,
now, right now, visualize. I'm going on this live with Sarah, and this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to laugh. We're going to have so much, fun stuff to talk about. And I will feel so connected with her. And I feel like it's so amazing because I give value to her audience. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. And
yep,
I'm very, very often, I would do a visualization or meditation. In the past was meditation because I didn't know the material. I didn't study the material as I'm doing now. Now I'm doing more and more visualization. But in the past I would do meditation, but now it's visualization. If I have a really big, thing coming up and I'm nervous or anything. So I just do that and to rehearse it in my
yep,
mind and then do that with more confidence. Yes, because I
yes,
already there. I already been there. So this is my second time being
Yeah,
here.
this is my second time doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's nothing to be scared of because I already did it. So I know what is coming. And that will,
Yeah,
because a lot
love
of
that.
people, what is really anxious about is the unknown, right? It's the
Yes.
unknown.
Fear of
But
the
if we,
unknown.
absolutely, if we already rehearse it, we already know what is going to happen. So that itself is removed. And then, yeah,
Yes.
it will be so much more calm and confident to do the things that we need to do.
Yes. I love that. Yes. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect answer. I'm going to take that and use that as well.
Nice.
Um, yeah, because it is really about the feeling, isn't it? Like if you can visualize it and feel confident, and then you can bring that confidence into the now, and then you are that confident now. I think that's a huge thing.
Exactly, absolutely. The feeling is so important. Um,
Mm,
Mindset, thinking is important, but feeling is like a key ingredient of manifestation. If you want to manifest
yes.
anything, you if you feel like, why am I having these things in my life? You go to your feelings and you see how you feel about it today. And essentially, whatever you are feeling, that is like a lot of it is what you attract, how you feel.
Yep.
So for example, a lot of people, we want money, right? That is a very common topic. We want money, but there is a catch there. If you want money so badly, you're very attached to it, you're not going to manifest it. Why? Because if I say I want money so much, oh my god, I really wish that I have the money, the feeling of it is not abundance. The
No,
feeling is
it's lack.
lack. Right. Yes, absolutely. It's a lacking. I don't
Yep.
have money. And then, the universe or God or infinite intelligence, how you want to call it, give you what you ask for, but not what you ask for verbally, what you ask for emotionally. If
Yep.
you ask for the thing that you feel like I'm lacking of money, the universe is going to give you more of it.
Yep. Yep. That's
So,
so true.
yeah, emotions are
Yes.
so important.
Yes. That was bringing me to the next question of, um, is manifesting just for money, or is it for
Yeah.
yeah, that was my next question
Yeah.
because I wanted to talk about, yeah, like what else can you kind of manifest, and maybe tell a story of like your favorite manifesting story.
Yeah, that is such a great, great question. No, the answer is no. It's not all. It's not only about money. It's everything because manifestation also works with the universal laws. Like there are certain universal laws applied for everyone, and for me, for example, one manifestation that I did was my relationship. So in the past, I always attracted very unhealthy relationship. Let's say that, and I remember that um, because I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy that I was worthy of a man who loves me unconditionally, and I didn't feel enough of a man who would support me and who would give me unconditional love. And I remember that I was going out with this guy. I really, really loved him. I actually loved him. And my best friend, we were like flatting together at that time still in Beijing when I was in my mid-20s. And then, so I knew that she didn't like that we were together, but she was just like holding herself, not saying anything. And then your friend would do, right? Support you no matter what. And
Yeah.
then she just couldn't control it. She said, Shangyue is my Chinese name because we're in Beijing. Shangyue, like, what did you see in him? And I said, oh, because he said he's gonna treat me well. He said he's gonna treat me well. I didn't say he was treating me well. I said he said
Yeah.
he was going to treat me well. And she just laughed. She's like, isn't that the minimum standard of any relationship? I was like, really? She said, yes. And then I started to see things differently. I started to like, oh, actually, he said that he was going to treat me well, but he didn't. So that
What's
was a
showing you?
he didn't. And then I had this transformation of my life. Earlier we talked about, healing everything, a lot of things, on this unconscious manifestation. And I came to New Zealand, and then I remember at that time I really wanted a relationship, and I just broke up with my ex-boyfriend at that time again. And I remember I wrote down like a really important thing. If you want to manifest, you need to know what you want. Like first step ever. You need to know very clear what you want. Like it can't be, for example, I want a lot of money. No, what means a lot of money? Like give me the number. Or I want a boyfriend. What kind of boyfriend do you want? You need to be really specific. So I wrote 5 things I want him to have. I want him to be generous, kind, has a big heart, smart, and positive. I remember those were the 5 things I wrote on a piece of paper. And I was talking to my friend in China who, still was in the old paradigm, which I already shifted from there. And then she just laughed. She's like, you are not looking for a boyfriend. You are looking for a God. And it is not existing in the world in this guy. And
You're
she
like, if
said,
I can think it,
yeah,
he's out there.
I know. And like, forget about it. Like, choose one. Just choose one and then choose a guy, and that's it. And I understood where she was coming from because I was from that mindset. And I said, I just laughed. And then I told myself, no, I'm going to find him. I know that he's there. That's the manifestation we're talking about, right? He's already existing. I just haven't found him yet. I just haven't manifested that man yet in my life.
Yep.
And then I don't know. I think it was like 2 months or 3 months later, I met this guy on internet, and he was so sweet. And he was like, on the one of the dating sites at that time, and he was like writing long things to me, where the other guys write, how are you, like one sentence or something.
Yeah.
He was
Yep.
just like writing letters and letters, like how much time does this guy have every day? And he looked really like, his photo looked very trustworthy, very very reliable. So I went on a date with this guy. Oh my god, he was a nerd. He googled it, like because he didn't know how to, like he was nervous basically. So he googled
Yep.
and he wrote down all the questions he would ask me. So he was asking me questions after questions on the first date. We're in the pub,
Oh,
and I was like, oh my god, I was laughing because I was laughing. I said, I feel like I'm in an interview right now.
yeah. You're interviewing me for this.
I know. It was cute in a way. And then
Yeah.
he was a little bit embarrassed. And I remember one of the questions he asked me was like, are you planning to buy a house? I was like, why are you asking me that? It was so funny, but so real and so authentic. Like he was very,
Yes.
didn't know what to do. And he told me,
Genuine.
yeah, he
Yeah.
told me, he said, I'm sorry that I didn't know what to do. So I Googled it and I had this questions
List.
on my own list that I'm going to ask.
But doesn't that show that just shows that he's thinking? He's like, what do I do? I'll research it. I'll go and do
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And
Awesome.
he was not like scared of telling me that as well, that he was very, very authentic. And then, so I gave him another opportunity. So next time, the second date, and I remember I asked him, I said, what is your purpose in life? And he said, oh, I've never thought of that. But if I'm thinking of it now, I think it's to be happy. I was a man. This is my man. And he's my husband.
Yep. Yep. Ah, yay. That's awesome.
My life. Yes.
Yep.
He's just
That's
so,
so good.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's another example that you don't have to manifest money, like is great, but you can manifest health. I manifest health as well. Like, and
Yep.
I I manifested my birth, like not my birth, my son's birth, and
Yep.
I manifested relationship, and even with Sia, this is manifesting. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
right, we are here today, on
Exactly.
19th of February here in New Zealand and Australia, and we are talking.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
it's manifesting. So every
It really is because when we started talking, I was like, we actually are matching in frequencies.
yeah,
We match, and we've met. It's very interesting how it just how
yeah,
things happen, and you
yeah,
don't know how it's going to happen. It just does.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. When it is the divine timing, it's happening.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
There's a when you said before, I haven't found him yet. There's a quote from I think it's Rick Rubin. He's like a music producer, and he says a lot of cool stuff about art and creativity. And he says, "Don't ever say I haven't done it. Say I haven't done it yet, and
Yeah,
leave that yet there." And I'm like, I love that. And you
absolutely.
said it just then. I was like, "Yep, that's
Yeah,
what it
absolutely.
is."
And to whoever, who is listening to this, if you say that, oh, I haven't done, like the business, for example, if you want to grow your business, or if you're thinking of having a business, and if you're thinking, oh, I don't have the experience, I don't have the skills, I don't have the capability, I don't have the time, I don't have the whatever that is, and put a yet behind it. I don't have the
Yep,
experience yet, but I will
yep,
next year or today. I don't have the
yep.
capability yet, but I will. My capability will increase next week if I start today. So it's all our choice, and it's already there for you, and you just need to
It's
claim
already
it.
there. That's
Yes.
right. And everyone has a unique way of doing things. Like I find a lot of people say, "Oh, there's already a lot of coaches out there. There's already
Mm,
a lot of hairdressers out there. There's already a lot of accountants out there." It doesn't matter. Everyone's got their own take on it. It doesn't matter. It's comparisons. There's no comparison.
yeah.
I think
So
that's a big thing too.
absolutely, you just raised such an important thing, Sarah. Like, this is so matching, right?
Yeah, Sarah
Um,
and Sarah.
and um, And one very important thing in manifestation is that you have to drop comparison. You have to drop it. You have to be on this creative plane, not comparison, competitive plane. No, because when you are in this competitive plane, essentially what you are thinking and feeling, what you are telling the universe is that there's not enough in this world. It's not enough for everyone. So
Yeah,
I can't get it. And it is the scarcity mindset, and that is what you're going to attract as well. So very important that you understand the universe is going to create whatever that you desire.
yeah,
No, let me rephrase it. Universe has already created that you desire. It's already done. So you don't have to be competitive to others.
no,
You just need to stay in your lane. I really love my mentor said, stay in my lane. This
yeah,
is my, whatever is mine is mine. It's already done.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
whatever is theirs is already theirs. So I don't
yeah,
have to, grab other people's things because I
no,
have plenty. And the universe is going to supply whatever I desire. If I tomorrow desire,
exactly.
universe is going to supply more. So it's very important that you need to have this abundant mindset. Everybody who is listening to this, um, that because that is what you are going to manifest. Yeah,
Exactly. That there's enough for everyone. And that
absolutely.
goes with any business. Like I
Yeah,
remember in hairdressing, um, a lot of the businesses around, even if it's in the same town, were very competitive with pricing and what they do and all that kind of thing. But when you compared it to everyone, we'd stay all small because it's all the same. And you
yes,
want your uniqueness, and there's enough clients, there's enough people, there's enough abundance for everyone. There's no
absolutely.
need to comparison is a killer of joy.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, right. I'm having a business then.
Yes.
Yes.
Now let me just check. I think we've covered a lot of these questions. Awesome, awesome combo. I could just do this all day, actually.
Me
Um,
too.
okay, let's see. What I've got two more questions. The first one is, what guidance would you offer to help people build the confidence to pursue their dreams? What would be some tips for confidence?
I think that's your area.
Yeah.
Is the expert on this. Like, whoever needs to build a confidence, go to her. But
Yeah.
I also have a little bit of my intake as well that maybe I can contribute here as well. Confidence, I learned it with my mentor, very different from what I learned in the past. So what is confidence? My understanding of confidence right now is that the ability to trust my own power and my own ability.
Yep.
So I think especially on the entrepreneurship, because things can go wrong, really wrong. Things can go right, really right. And especially when things go wrong, we very often doubt ourselves, doubt our choices. Oh, I should have just stayed in that job, or oh, I should have, not do that, or whatever that is. And we started to question everything that we have done, that way the
Yes.
decision we made. And then we start to not trust ourselves
Yep.
anymore. And that, I think, is such a big thing, because intuition is your intuition is
Huge.
so, yes, it's so huge. So
Yep.
when we don't trust ourselves, essentially we lose that. We lose the
Yep.
intuition, lose the connection with ourselves. And when we do that, then there are so many moments in our life we're gonna come across and face the self-doubt. Because if we don't trust ourselves, what are we gonna
Yep.
do? Doubt ourselves. And then we will
Exactly.
live in this state of anxiety, stress, not sure about it, fear, fearful, that state. And then we would never take actions because we're
No.
too scared. And
Yep.
then your gift, your talent, whoever are listening to this, essentially are kept within you. What a waste. Like, your gift and your talent, they belong to the world. I'm sorry to,
Yeah, exactly.
they don't
Shine your
belong
light.
to you. Belong to the world, and you have so much to share, you have so much to give. And
Yes.
I wish you can see that. And I think the ability to really trust your own power and trust your ability to make things right, that is just huge in whatever that
Yep.
is. That they're,
Yep.
building a relationship, or building your business, or even, build your body or your health, going to gym, whatever that is so, so important. For me, how I build confidence, I do a lot of inner work every single day, and journal is one of it. Journal is one of it.
Yep.
If I notice that I say something about myself, say that I think of less of myself, for example, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Then I would catch myself. Wait a moment. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Like, not judgmentally, but
Yep.
put pen on paper, write it down. What exactly was my
Why?
belief?
Yes.
Because
And are they your beliefs or are they someone else's is another big thing with that as well.
absolutely, exactly, absolutely. And then you would uncover the beliefs, and then from there you rewrite the beliefs. Is that true, though, that I'm not good enough? Is that true,
Yes.
though, that, one of my beliefs that made me not confident in the past is my English, because English is my
Yep.
second language. And I always told myself, you will never write a book, because I always want to write a book, best-selling book. And I told myself, you will never write a book because your English is not good enough. You would never be as good as the people who speak, native English. So I felt really, really not confident when I spoke. And when I felt not confident, I intended to, like, doing things like, I don't know the English word exactly. We're talking about English. Snato? No. Dato? Shato?
Shuttle?
You know, like, ne, this,
Stutter?
data. Yes.
Stutter?
Thank you. Thank you. And so I intend to stutter. I intend to forget my words. And then, you know what? One day I just like, no, this is not true. Even though
Yep.
that English is not my first language, I can still get my message across. And
100%.
one thing that really encouraged me was after I posted something on internet, and I thought, yeah, I couldn't really write English, and then I got this feedback from a native English speaking person said, "Oh my God, like your writing is amazing. You're," and I was like, "Really?" She said, "Yes." I couldn't believe it at the beginning because
Yep.
that's not my belief. My belief was my
Yep.
English was not good enough. And when somebody said something different, I was like, that is not true, right?
Yep.
And then my husband also said, I think your English is really good, even though that you maybe don't know some of the words, but you
Yep.
actually sometimes use better words because
Yes.
you kind of make it simple for everyone to
Yep.
understand. I was
Yep.
like, okay. So I started to question my belief. I was like, is it real that my English is not good enough? And then I rewrite it. I just like, you know
Yep.
what? I can speak fluent English. I can write a very good book in the future. I can get my meaning or get my message across easily. And then I completely say things differently and I speak
Perfect.
differently as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a big thing is to prove it wrong. So like if you wrote down I'm not good enough or you can prove it wrong with even if it's the smallest things in your life, even if you
Oh,
look right back, if you can
absolutely.
prove it wrong in small examples, you're like, you can
Yeah.
start to reframe it in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's your area, right? NLP, that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, that you have this
Yep.
evidence within you that you think you're not good enough. And then you start to find the things in your life to support that evidence. And then
Yep. To keep
that
it.
keep feeding it, get stronger and stronger. Your belief is getting stronger and stronger. But we can also use that to help us. What if we
Yes.
start to believe that we are good enough? And then we start to find more of the little things that we are good enough. And then to support that,
Yep.
that evidence, that, self-belief, and then it will become a very, very good cycle, positive cycle. It
Exactly.
will become so big.
And you're building the good, not the bad. You're building the
Absolutely.
good.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
is it Tony Robbins that talks about the red car effect? Yeah. So if you're looking to buy a red car, you'll see a red car everywhere. It's because it's in your awareness.
Yes, actually, yes, absolutely. Yeah, that is another very important thing in manifestation as well, is where that's actually this phrase is from, I heard it from Tony Robbins. Wherever your focus goes, energy flows. Your energy
Yep.
flows, and that's where you take
Yep.
action. And that's when you take actions in that area, and that's where you will get the manifestation, right? You will get the results. So
Yes.
it's very, very important
Mm,
to focus on the things that support us and that serves us.
yes. There's one question that just popped into my head now.
Yeah.
Um, in a feed on Facebook, there was a question that come up that this person's car had broken down, and they said they were doing everything right in manifesting, like this isn't working, rah rah, and because their car broke down, they're like, this is like not working. Um, and I just wondered whether there's like, how sometimes if something bad happens like that, sometimes there is actually a reason behind it. Like you might meet someone, or you might go to the car yard to pick your car up or whatever, and you might meet the man of your dreams.
Yeah.
Is there that kind of thing that you've
Absolutely.
experienced in manifesting?
Oh, absolutely. There is a law called law of contrast, or law of polarity. So in that law basically says that if you uh, have one thing, then you need to have the other extreme thing. For example, yin and yang, uh, up and down, left and right. You have one thing, you have another thing extreme as well, cold and hot. So and there is another law called law of rhythm. So basically saying that in your life, it's in my opinion, that is how I digest it. I think those two laws are very, very relevant. So the law of the rhythm is like in your life, there are ups and downs. There are different seasons, right? We have summer, we have spring, we have autumn, we have winter. And all of those seasons, they play a role in our life. And sometimes we don't know why they're there. Like winter, so freezing cold. Why are you here? Well, yes, we need winter. We need, for example, rain. A lot of people is like, I really don't like rain. Why do you need to rain? We do like rain because our garden need rain. Our food, our vegetables, they need rain. So everything happens for a reason. Sometimes we can't see what that reason is. And I really love one ancient Chinese story that I heard it when I was a child. And so it's called this is a 塞翁失马, 塞翁失马. So that is the Chinese version. So basically this elderly person, we call him Mr. Sai. Mr. Sai lost the horse. So Mr. Sai, like it was like ancient China. So they lived in a village where, there was like empire and there was wars everywhere. And then, so he was old and he had a son. And then one day, so he has, and they have a horse, and that horse was the only income for the household, the only income. And then one day the horse just ran off. They didn't know where the horse was. And so it appeared really unfortunate because they lost the only income for them. So their neighbor came to them and, said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. This is such an unfortunate. And then Mr. Sai was just really calm, just said, I don't know. Either it is fortunate or unfortunate or not. I don't know yet. And then so the neighbor came back home. And then 1 week later, the horse came back on its own. And guess what? The horse brought back another horse, which means overnight, their income just doubled. So everyone, again, came to their house and congratulations, you're so lucky and, such a fortunate. And then again, Mr. Sai was really calm and just saying, either it is fortunate or unfortunate. I don't know yet. And then everybody left home. And then, so the son was trying to train the new horse. But because the new horse was a wild horse, so was not used to human beings. So while he was training the horse basically swung him off on the ground and he broke his leg. And then, of course, the neighbors, everybody came, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's such an unfortunate. And then again, Mr. Sai was so calm and said, I don't know that yet. Like, I don't know whether it's luck or unluck. And then a few months later, the empire's army came to this village. And they basically got every man in that village who could go to the war, to the battle, to attend the war. But because this man's son's leg was broken, so he couldn't go. So Mr. Sai said, I really would love, for my son to go with you, but there's no use because he can't even walk. So the army left without the son and spared the son's life because everybody died in that war. So that story really told us that we really don't know whether it is a good thing or bad thing in our life. There is really no good thing or bad thing. It's just what it is. It's what it is happening. And what makes it good or bad is our own perception and perspectives. Would you say that me, I was having, troubles with my eating and, sleeping, and depression was bad? Of course, yes, it was not pleasant, and I don't want anyone to have it. But now when I look back, it was the most important lifestyle, like a milestone in my life. If not were those periods, like the darkest period of my life, I wouldn't have those transformations and wouldn't have those awareness within me. I wouldn't manifest, come to New Zealand, meeting, met my husband and have our beautiful kids. How can
Yep.
I say those things were bad? So even right now, some things are happening and it's unpleasant. I still can't say that it is good or bad because it is
Yep.
just what it is. And then I
Yep.
can either learn something from it or I can just blame it or everybody else or myself, which help me or serve me. So I choose to view it differently. I choose to view it, okay, yeah, so this hurts. Like this sucks. And I don't know why it happens, universe, but I'm sure there's a reason that I don't know about it. I'm sure it's all according to the plan. And I am really, really willing to find out what this really bring to me. And maybe, because my car not broken down. My car, I forgot turning off I left the lights on when I was going out with my husband at that time, and we just went out like once, and then I couldn't get my car start. So I messaged him. I said, "Hey, can you please come here? Because my car couldn't start. Can you please jump? What is it? Jump start it?
Start. Yep.
Start jump it? Yeah." And then he was so kind. He was like, yeah, I'll be there. Those opportunities just showed me that how care he was to anyone he just met. And
Yep.
isn't that a great thing? Isn't that a
Yep.
great thing?
Well, he
And I
ticked the kind box straight away. You're like, tick.
exactly kind box, yes. And I really believe that the universe has our back. The universe is always supporting us, and I think everything is eventually gonna work out for us, no matter what.
Yep.
So it's our job to choose to whether want to see it or not that way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that story. That was awesome. That gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh, I love that story.
So, yes.
Awesome. So the last question is, could you tell the listeners how they could join on your free masterclass on this Friday? I'm going to be there as well because is it Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
So for Australia and New Zealand is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but you can catch the replay if you missed the
Okay.
Thursday, because I know that your podcast come out on Thursday.
Yep.
But for the US, Canada, it is one day before, like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, different time zone.
Yep. Yep.
And it is about maybe a topic that a lot of us we are interested is about attracting money. And I recently read this book called The Secret Art of Feeling and Growing Rich. And it is a book that was recommended by my coach, by my mentor. And it is such a manifestation book. And I think if you really, really want money in your life, like come and join us. It's free. And it is the insight from a finance guru in South Korea who advises the top 1%, the richest people in South Korea. And
Wow.
and she did a analysis on 100,000 people in the past 30 years, from Western culture to Asian culture, from poor to born to rich, like different situations. And she also analyzed like what choices do they make, what actions do they take when there are some pivoting moments in their lives. And she concluded that almost everyone can have $3 to $7 million. Some can have more, but the majority of people will fall into that bracket. But the problem is that majority of us, we don't know that we have that ability, first of all. Second, we don't know how. And
Yep.
so in that book, it is such a simple concept that you can use right now in your life. No, like you don't have to have lots of money to use it right now. You can use it right now to attract more money in your life. And yeah, so I want to still make it a little bit mysterious for everyone.
Yes. Yeah. No, it sounds exciting. I'm going to be there for sure.
Yeah. So forward to seeing you there, Sarah. Yes, it's gonna be
So
awesome. Be awesome.
you'll have to send me some material, and I'll put that up on my Instagram so everyone can see the times and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah,
If you give me some, yeah, that'd be awesome.
yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming on to today. I've had an absolute ball. I don't even know how long we've been talking for because it's just like been like when time doesn't exist, that's when you know it's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me here, Sarah. It's
No
so
problems
fun.
at all. We should do this often, I think.
Yes, yes. And absolutely, I would love for you to jump on my podcast when I launch it. I
Yes.
I
Yes.
plan to launch it this month, or next month.
Yep.
Yeah, that is my goal. That is my goal. Yes.
Yes. Well, we'll keep an ear out for that because that's happening.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you, Sarah. And this is Hippie Soul Sessions signing out. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.